eyes of the world have been glued to the city of Haran for the past 2 months, following the outbreak of a previously unknown pathogen.
It is not yet clear what has caused this gruesome affliction. The local government's Ministry of Defense erected a quarantine wall shortly after the outbreak.
The global relief effort's steady stream of supply drops has sustained what few survivors remain in the city. The Ministry of Defense believes more radical action should be taken to stem the tide of this virus.
The question is, are there still non-infected survivors in the city as the GRE maintains? And if so, will the ministry still go through with a stated plan to annihilate the city in an attempt to wipe out the Haran virus once and for all?
Whether by way of the virus or the ministry's proposed plan, one thing is certain: Haran's days are numbered.
How's it going, guys? With my pick for the February game of the month now coming out in the fall, I thought I would put out my first review for my pick for game of the month from January. As you can see with the opening sequence there, my pick for game of the month for January was Dying Light. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to do a review of that, and I'll do these reviews for my picks for game of the months and any other games that come out as well, just randomly throughout the release dates. I'm sorry. Uh, so yeah, kind of get some of the kind of dry details out of the way for. Oh, get out the door here. I'll come sit here for a second. So yeah, this is Dying Light, put out here by Techland. If you're not 100% familiar with it, it is a survival horror type zombie game. Does come with technically 2 modes, but kind of a third versus co-op mode in there as well. You have your traditional single player mode as well as up to a 4-player co-op mode. The nice thing with this 4-player co-op, is whatever experience, equipment, anything you find while playing in a friend's or another person's world or game, you actually get to keep and bring back to yours. So it's always nice to know that if you're going to put in time in somebody else's game, you're going to be able to keep your stuff for it as well. And then the other mode that I mentioned is more of a co-op versus mode. It's called Be the Zombie, or basically it can be played up to 4v1 with four players versus one computer-controlled zombie. The best way for me to describe it, if you're familiar with the infected mode, is what it was called in Left 4 Dead 2, where you actually get to control the special zombies. It's very similar to that. So those are the game modes. I do believe the game is coming with a season pass. As of right now, I believe that season pass is running in $19.99. So if you couple that with the $60 price tag for the game, you're looking at about an $80 investment for everything that has been announced at this point. With that season pass, you get, looks like three individual downloads. One is called Cuisine and Cargo. Looks like that is actually out now. Looks like it came out on Tuesday. Looks like it was adding, let's see, a couple new missions to the game. A couple new areas that you haven't been able to go to previously. Then in March, there will be the Ultimate Survival Bundle, which adds more in-game items as well as blueprints. And then in May, it is the Bozak Horde mode, which will then add new areas to the new maps, or new areas in the map, as well as an arena for a survival horde mode type game as well. So all entails, it looks like you're going to have, like I said, the three game modes that come with it. A potential fourth in May when that Horde mode drops for about $80, which really I don't think is too bad because once I get into the things that I liked and didn't like about the game, I think that's actually a pretty fair value. So, with that said, we'll go ahead and we'll get some gameplay here started, and we will go over everything about the game. I don't know if it comes through very well on the video. Oh man, I'm all over the place. The game actually doesn't look too terribly bad. It is nighttime right now, so I don't know if I want to run around the world much right now. One, because it'll be hard to see, and two, it is probably the most terrifying aspect of this game is the. Oh man, what am I doing? Oh, I'm just showing off how bad I know how to play this game. I apologize, guys. But it's probably the most terrifying part of this game is going outside at night. So I think I'm going to go run and go to sleep, which will then allow me to get through till the morning, and I can show you a little more of the game. That sounds good to me. Okay. So the one thing I will say about this game, and it's the part that I like the most, is it's not your typical zombie game where it's a shooter, all kinds of guns, rocket launchers, grenade launchers, melee weapon, it's not your typical zombie game. I would say it's probably easier to cross it by saying it is, The Last of Us meets uh, Fallout meets Left 4 Dead. It's a true survival game. You have to scavenge for everything that you need. You randomly find things throughout the world. You have the ability to lockpick lockpick boxes, lockpick police vehicles, ambulances, all different kinds of things to just scavenge for supplies. And with those supplies, you're able to craft weaponry, medical supplies, all different kinds of things. And to me, that's the best part of the game because too many times with, I think, especially in the zombie games, it's just grab a gun and let's just raise the body count. And I think it takes away from that horror aspect of the game. And honestly, I think that's lacking in a lot of those other games. So being able to have that experience within this game certainly does make it one of the huge sticking points for me as far as a plus for this game. Um, the other thing I'll say is a plus for me in this game is I enjoy the co-op experience. I mean, nowadays, especially with online play and things like that, you want to be able to play with your friends. You want to be able to meet new people, kind of see how other people play games, and just have that social interaction. Oh, get them! And that's the other thing. It's just brutal sometimes with this, the kills they have. Just one shot, boom in the face. But being able to have that interaction, it's horrible. Time to run. Interaction with other people is important in games, I think, right now, and this I think does it very well. And the fact that it also doesn't punish you for being, in somebody else's game, because there's other games where it allows you to come in there, but you don't get to keep your progress. You lose everything, and that seems like a waste of time, really. I mean, you still have fun playing with your friends, but at the same time, too, you want to be able to get stuff on your own for your gameplay in your world. So, I think that is another plus to this game of being worth the money they're asking for it. So, the other thing that I thought was really kind of interesting and cool with this game is the parkour system, the free running. It actually flows really well. For those of you guys who are familiar with, and this is going to kind of date myself, and I apologize, but at the same time, I think it's kind of relevant to this. if you're familiar with Aliens versus Predator on the 360 when that came out a couple years ago, uh, the when you played as the alien, you held down, I believe it was the left or right bumper, and that allowed you to transition from wall to ceiling to floor pretty seamlessly. And I think the free running on this one is actually feels a lot like that. You hold down the right bumper as you're running, and you can jump, you can grab, and it just makes the motion of your character seem very seamless, and it makes transition. Oh, that wasn't good. Oh, I think I hurt myself. Makes the makes transitioning and traversing the world a lot easier than just okay. Let me get here. Let me press X. Let me hold B or whatever the case may be. So I think having the ability to do that certainly does make the game again. It's something different. It's I got $150, $105 out of that. Nice. So that's pretty cool. Another aspect that I actually really liked, and I had to be honest with you, it's gonna sound sad because I don't want to discredit the campaign mode because I actually had fun playing that as well. But I really enjoyed the Be the Zombie mode. You know, that 4v1. Oh, that's a big guy. We are not going near him because he will hurt us. So we're gonna go here. I'm gonna hurt. Get you. Oh, hit the back of the head. Oh. Yes, nice. The 4v zombie mode is actually a lot of fun. Um, Basically, what it is you are a infected hunter zombie, and you will randomly invade other people's worlds who are playing co-op. You could run into people who are doing 2-player, 3-player, up to 4-player. Oh, is it getting dark out? Or is I was getting tired? I think I was just getting tired. But anyways, you can invade their world, and basically what will happen is it happens at night, and each team has an opportunity to win the game. The human players must kill these nesting zombie bodies, and that's basically how you respawn. The faster those are killed, oh man, she hit me hard. The faster those are killed, the faster they get rid of you. Or the zombie has to kill the player-controlled characters 10 times. First one to do that wins, basically. And the zombie gets to level up just like the humans. The humans get to keep all of their. If there's not level-specific gear for that level, they get to keep. There's another big dude in there. Definitely don't want to go in there. And then what are these guys? I haven't seen these guys before. They're like hazmat zombies or something. As you can see, guys, unfortunately, I am a little bit low level. I spent most of my time playing the Be a Zombie mode. Uh, but having that, again, that teamwork aspect and the co-op aspect, and even in that mode, is still really fun because I ran into some people that I was able to decimate pretty easily. And then I ran into some people that I got beat up on pretty bad. So it really requires the teamwork, requires um, communication on the human's parts, and then with the hunter, you really have to be strategic and stealth with your attacks. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm gonna barrel in here and try to kill you," because they can melee you to death fairly fast. And even though you do possess one hit melee or one hit kill ability, um, you are still vulnerable, and you have to keep that in consideration. So that is probably my favorite mode out of the game, but it's certainly you know not the only mode that's fun. So those are my pluses. My only real minus with the game right now is two. I have two. One, I'm not going to say it's a bad story by any means. The campaign story I think is good. I think it's cliche. I think it's very predictable, unfortunately. I think, you know, as a story, they could have maybe taken a little more risk and tried to make it a little more unique than it was. But at the same time, I don't think it's a bad story. It is kind of what I'm getting at. I think overall the game, uh, you know, follows um, your standard. Oh, can I get up there? Oh. Your standard. Here's a good guy. You're coming into a hostile world that we don't really know what's going on. We need you to make contact with said people because there's a said bad guy, and you're going to make some moral choices about what you're doing. And that's really about it. I think it's done well. I think so far it has been not a bad story by any means, but I still think that they could have done something different. It could have been more. It could have been a lot more entertaining, I think, and a lot more. I think the fact that you're doing it within this part in this horror survival mode. I really wish there would have been more to that, and I wish the story would have reflected that more. I just don't think it does. Oh, there's zombies killing this guy. Oh, oh no, I'm getting hit by this. Oh no, I'm gonna die. Repair the weapon. Oh, boom! Ah! Ah! Oh, gotta use my kit. Repair the weapon. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. There we go. Weapon is repaired. Ah! No! Get off me. Get off me. But, even, oh, that's not good. I fell off. Whoa, did the zombie jump off with me? That would have been crazy. Even with that said, I don't think the story is bad. I'm not going to say it's bad. Ow, they did jump off on me. Man, get off me. I just think it could have been better than what it was, I think. And the only other thing, and I think this was more of, I ran into this issue a lot with, oh no! With early on, the servers seem to lag a little bit. Getting into matches seems to take a little while. But again, that could just be first month, first week out. Games tend to have that issue. So, are you dead? Are you getting up? What are you doing? I don't know. I might hit you in the back if I see that on there. Good. Okay. Oh! That's not good. I almost died. Man. Using my pick. Okay. So there was a little bit of a delay trying to get into some matches when you were doing the Be the Zombie mode. But other than that, that's really the only real technical aspect of it that I think maybe lacked a little. Was that, again, not that huge of a deal, at least not in my opinion. So I would say overall, if you take into consideration the mode you get out of the mode you get to play with it right from the start, the ability to play with your friends and keep the survival horror aspect going, it's certainly a good game. I would say that as far as the zombie game goes, for the next gen consoles, it's probably the best game out there right now going for zombie games. So I would say out of 10 being the best overall must have, you have to have this game. 1 being avoid it at all costs, like you would a zombie in this game. I would say a 7. It's certainly, like I said, by no means a horrible game. The story isn't horrible or lacking like Destiny or some of the other games. It's competent. it's worth following. I just wish it was a little more original. But there are certainly far more positives than there are negatives to Dying Light. So I would say 7 out of 10. Maybe if there was a little more originality out of the story, I would have gone 8. But for me, it's certainly a game that I'm happy buying. Probably won't buy the season pass, just because there's other season passes right now that I am going to purchase in other games. But I could certainly see buying the season pass, being $20 isn't that bad, and it does seem like you'll get at least $20 worth of content out of that pass, because it is going to add. I think it is going to add that fourth game mode and that horde mode there in May when that comes out. So yeah, I mean, this is Dying Light. I mean, let me know what you guys think. Did you buy it? Is it something that you think you might buy? Like I said, it's not a bad game. I certainly have enjoyed playing it. For me, I enjoyed the verses more than I have the campaign. But honestly, I'm not that far into the campaign yet. This is kind of, I know I'm trying to do a review out of it, but it's more of kind of a first impression / mini review of the game. And I think too, a lot of times when you play these games, you don't necessarily need to play the entire thing to get an idea of what the game's going to be like. The only part of it that I could potentially be wrong about is the story, but I'm pretty sure I have a good idea that the story. And then I'm pretty sure the story is going to be roughly stick to being as cliche as it has been. So. Other than that, like I said, guys, it's a good game. I certainly think it's worth the $60 or $80 if you go the full investment. But yeah, I'm going to start working on my next review for my game of the month, being Evolve. And I should hopefully have that out by the end of the month, just in time for the March game of the month to come out. So again, guys, thank you very much for your time watching the video and your support of the page and the channel. And I will talk to you guys next time. Thanks. Peace.